are tuned into the Fringe Radio Network at fringeradionetwork.com. Now stay tuned for two wannabe rockers trying to interview real rockers. Here is Tim and Bobby with special guests, Crushing the Deceiver. But first, enjoy a lame skit by Tim and Bobby.
This is Let's Get Jacked Up on Fringe Radio Network.
Hi, how can I help you?
Yeah, hey man, how's it going? I wanted to talk to you. I heard that you are influential with music and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm a record producer.
Yeah, I know. You produce music, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to know if you were interested in some hot new. What are you looking at? Why are you looking around like that?
I hear an echo. What's wrong with your voice?
Oh man, I have to tell you, I spent a lot of money. I just want you to know, to get my voice to sound like this. Okay, it's a reconstructive surgery. I have completely redesigned the vocal box, the vocal cords, to give me my own natural reverb, so that I can, because my voice sounds so much better with the reverb that I can't even remember what it sounded like before I had this echo.
Okay, wow, what's your name?
I go by Mike.
Mike, okay.
Yeah.
Michael?
No, it's Mike. M-I-C? Mike.
No, M-I-K? M-I-K-E?
M-I-C.
M-I-C.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your last name?
Stan.
Mike Stan. Is that what you really go by? Is that your real name?
That's my real name. That's my
Mike Stan.
Yeah, Stan. S-T-A-N. Okay? There's no D. Don't put a D.
You're saying that your name is M-I-C space S-T-A-N.
Yes, my name is Mike Stan, and I'm going to be the greatest rocker this world has ever seen.
All right, let's see what you got. Let's see your pipes.
You want me to sing something?
Sing something.
I'll sing something.
Wheels on the bus go round and round.
Oh, I can totally do that. All right, I know that one. Ready? Do you have some tempo for me? The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town. You like it?
Okay, thank you for coming in.
Can I try another song?
Well,
listen. Okay, I have to tell you. Okay, I'm not being completely honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah, this reverb thing, it's not real.
Well, you said it was.
This is actually the raspiness. That's not really there. Hold on.
How did you do that? You just turned it off.
No, I'm really okay. It's just I sound like this. Is just the way I sound sometimes. That's all. Technology's a great thing, man. I just have to tell you, I was listening to this band. They're like this super awesome hardcore rock band, right? And I really was inspired by them, and I thought I could be like them, but I can't. I just am so not capable of being like them, but I want to so bad. I think you might have heard of them. They're called Crushing the Deceiver.
Oh, yeah. They're really popular.
Yeah. I'm one of their friends on Facebook, but they've never really wanted to meet me, but it's because I'm too afraid to ask them to meet them in person. Yeah, they're really good people. They're awesome. They look like they're awesome people, and they have a good message and everything.
Positive message. You know what?
Yeah.
I got some connections. Let me see what I make some phone calls.
Yeah.
Let me see what I could do.
It's Mike Stan really is my name. My real name is Mike Stan, but it's not. It doesn't quite sound like the other way. But I just wanted to sound so cool because I'm not cool.
You sound like a 14-year-old boy.
I'm not a 14. I'm 45, man.
All right. Well, let me make some phone calls, Mr. Mike Stan, and we'll see if we get these guys in the studio.
Oh.
And let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You got some questions for them?
I do. I want to ask them so many questions.
All right. Well, let's see what we could do. Let me dial them up here. Okay. Hey, Mark. Yeah, this is, you know who this is. Listen, I'm at the studio right now. Do you know that band Crushing the Deceiver? Do you have their contact info? Yeah, I'm going to need that. Okay.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh, I got somebody here in the studio who wants to ask some questions. Yeah, thank you. All right, thanks, Mark.
He gave you their number?
He gave me some contact information. I cannot give that out, but I will
That's so exciting. I can't wait. Give me the chance, please. I don't even want to sing. I just want to meet them. They sound so cool.
But I was seeing what I could do and have them over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Crushing the Deceiver.
Coming to you live somewhere deep in Fresno, California, it's Let's Get Jacked Up! Sinners Saved by Grace.
Now, here are your hosts, Tim and Bobby.
And welcome to Let's Get Jacked Up! Yeah!
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2020. We are here in a studio near you, or nowhere near you. I'm not sure. I'm Tim Parrish, and with me today is Bobby Raymond. Hello, Bobo.
Did you? Oh my gosh! Yeah. Hi. How are you?
How are you?
Sounds like the inside of your head.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
We are so excited to have our guest tonight.
Tonight. This morning. It depends on when you're listening.
Right. Mm-hmm. Crushing. Oh wait. I'm sorry. I gotta do this
Come
right.
on, man.
Crushing the Deceiver.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yes.
Excited to be here.
All right.
man.
Well, okay. So first of all, Tim, we don't have all of Crushing the Deceiver. We have who?
We have.
Let's get a proper introduction.
Yes, we have a great vocalist, which Mr. Grant Moeller is here, the lead singer. And Grant, I got to tell you something. I don't know how you do it. Just listening to you sing, I really like it. But the thing is, I get a sore throat. I don't know how you do
Well,
it.
I told him on the way over here, we had the music blaring, just getting it started, you know? And here I am. I'm like, okay, dude, I'm going to give it a try. I'm like, it's like I clear my throat. Sorry.
And then I sound like Kermit, and that's no
Yeah.
fun, you know?
Yeah. So, and I want to ask you, before we get into all of the, the important stuff, this is a type of music that a lot of people don't know about, right?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Or they do, they highly criticize, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
as
underground.
man, I'm going to take that away from you, okay? Okay, so I've heard it called, and the most common term for it is Cookie Monster
Yeah.
rock, right?
Oh, yeah,
Are you,
definitely.
is that an offensive thing to the community of listeners who listen to this type of music?
No, not at all.
Okay, all right.
Like, so that's funny you brought up Cookie Monster. Like, I'm actually surprised, like, other people outside of myself even know that term.
Okay. Yeah.
Because, like, when people ask me, like, how do you do that? That's always what I say. I go, just try to sound like Cookie Monster. So that's actually pretty awesome that you said that.
Well, maybe it's just I'm a part of the super underground. I don't know, but I've always called it Cookie Monster rock, like, because that's what it sounds like. It's just like when I picture, when Cookie Monster is singing "C is for Cookie," but
on a much different level. No, stay away from that board, dude. All right, so Tim, where do you want to start off with this whole thing?
Well, that's where I wanted to start off with his voice and how does he actually do that? Like, so you just sound like Cookie Monster.
Like years and years of practice, man. Like even for myself, because when we first started doing Crushing the Deceiver, I was on like a 10, 11 year hiatus of playing music.
Wow. Oh, really?
We'll get to that later on.
Yeah.
But like I hadn't played music in a long time. So like when I first started doing it again, oh my goodness, my throat would just be killing me every time. Like if we even had like one practice session, I'd just be like, man, give me some water, give me some tea, you know?
Hey, what's good for your throat? Because, I sing a little bit, I used to. And then, like they say milk's not good for your throat, but I find it to be fine for my throat. But I tried like the tea and
honey. I see people like chug honey a lot.
But that doesn't, I don't know, man. It doesn't stick for me.
The funny thing, because once again, it's funny because you brought up milk.
Yeah.
What I always tell people for like when you're doing like metal, especially like the kind of metal we're doing, like the quote unquote Cookie Monster vocals.
Yeah.
Dairy's great.
Really?
Because when you get phlegm on your throat, because you want it to sound a little wet.
Okay. Right.
Because you don't want it to sound dry because you're pushing it so hard.
Gotcha.
So dairy actually is great.
Oh, good. See, because I've heard the opposite.
For metal. I mean, you don't want to be singing Celine Dion and you're guzzling
the words out of my mouth, man.
You know?
How funny. That's perfect. I was like, all right, you're going Celine Dion on me, but you took it from me. All right. Wow.
I like that.
This is going to be a short interview because everybody already knows the answers to everything. Like, good night.
Yeah. So Crushing the Deceiver, I mean, you when did you start that?
So Crushing the Deceiver came to fruition December of 2016. It actually started my pastor at Clovis Hills, Sean. He was doing a sermon series called Pushing Back Hell. So I wrote down the song title, Pushing Back Hell, and wrote the lyrics for the song before I even came up with the name Crushing the Deceiver. So Crushing the Deceiver, I was just flipping through the Bible. I was like, man, I want to have something like biblical to tie in with this band. And I stumbled on Romans 16:20, and it says, soon the God of peace will crush Satan under his feet. And I just twisted that into Crushing the Deceiver.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that you bring up that particular song because we were listening to it and I was like, wow, whoever has the bass hit on that, they must have their feet must be on fire when they're done. The bass drum, I am telling you, man, how in the world? I mean, I'm trying to picture it in my hand, unless it was all done like digitally, like with a keyboard or something.
For the first album, it was. So the first album was recorded. It was just me and my guitarist. I did all this. I did all the singing. I wrote all the lyrics. I wrote all the lyrics before we even wrote one guitar riff.
Wow.
My guitarist wrote all the music around the lyrics. He played bass. He also did the MIDI drums, which is like drum programming. It was a fake drummer on the first album.
Okay.
We do have obviously a full band now.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how do you do that?
Let me ask you: Does your current drummer dread certain songs because it's a lot easier to move your fingertips? Than
I mean. No knocks on him. He's a fantastic drummer.
Yeah.
Obviously, no human can play as fast as a drum machine. I mean, that's just not natural.
Right.
I was going to say, on the way over.
Like I said, I mean, he would have like buns of steel. Crush 10 cans with his butt cheeks or something.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this, though. So when he heard so you did it without a drummer, right?
Yes, the first album.
Yeah, and then when he heard that, he goes, "Hey man, I could do most of your stuff, but those done with drums, man. I don't know."
Yeah, like he would even tell us, like, man, like a lot of this stuff I can't play this fast. Like, it's like, no, just put your own spin on it. And he it's funny too because he was the guy in the band. He's the youngest. He has the least experience, so he was kind of nervous. And man, now it's like he's just phenomenal.
That's great.
I'm really happy with like where we're at musically. Like everybody contributing. Having to write a album with just two guys, like that was difficult.
Yes. And
usually you have the music before you have the lyrics. I had all the lyrics written first, and then he goes in and writes the music around it. I think he wanted to kill me by the time it was done. It took us like 17, 18 months to record the first album.
I believe it.
Because it was just the two of us, and we were writing and recording at the same time, like simultaneously.
Wow. And you also have a life besides.
Yeah, owning a restaurant. He has two kids.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was chaos.
Right. But once it's done, man, it sounds great.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because I believe I have your members right. You're, of course, Grant Mulder vocals, Johnny Rios.
Yes.
Okay, he's a guitarist.
Yep.
Carl Anderson, bass guitar.
Yep.
And then Trent Allen, is he your drummer?
Yes.
All right, and that is Crushing the Deceiver band members. So you're here, and so when did you get all these guys together?
So we got Trent. Actually, we were in the process of finishing up the album when he joined. But we were already so far along, I didn't want to change the sound of what we had. So I told him, I go, hey, I'm sorry, like, you'll be on the next album, you know, you'll be on the shows, but we're already this far along. I don't want to change the sound of this album, you know? So he still gave some input and stuff, like, for the first album. But we got him, like, I can't remember the date specifically, but we got him probably early 2017.
Okay.
Like probably around April. And then we got our current bassist, Carl, is not actually the original bassist.
Oh.
But the original bassist wasn't on the first album either, though.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it gets a little tricky.
Yes.
But
yeah.
I mean, let's be real. Any good bands, that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
I think that
in and out.
Well, we've had this lineup, the current lineup, way longer than the quote unquote original lineup.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
So.
Okay,
Like
so
the original bassist only did 2 shows with us, and I think we've done, like 18 shows now.
Wow.
So I mean, he hasn't done nearly as much as the current bassist.
Right.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about this. Off air, you had made mention about your. For those of you who don't know, you are a Christian band,
Yes.
right? I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have very Christian lyrics.
It's like
Can't always
worship
hear them
metal.
all, but it is, and that's the thing. Like I was on I don't know if it was your actual website or where it was, but it had an option to listen, and then it had an option to check out the lyrics. And me personally, I'm old, my ears don't work. I listened to a lot of your type of music as a kid, and so I had a hard time following along. But I'm telling you, man, how much of your lyrics are actually like, I think of like hymns, where hymns are like chunks of the Bible pulled out and put to music. Yeah, I was joking with Tim. I was like, you know what? I would love to hear him do some Cookie Monster Amazing Grace. How great would that be? Great. Yeah. So, and your Christmas album, when is that coming out?
Next year.
Right. Actually, in not this December that just passed, but last year in December, we actually did Jingle Bells.
Did you?
It was just instrumental, though.
Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
do the vocals for
Okay.
it, but
Okay.
it was fun. Well, I mean, it just sounded ridiculous.
Of course it would, but I mean, the thing is that that the diehard followers would be like, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And then they would go to their very conservative grandmother's house and be like, guess what I got, Grandma? I got Deck the Halls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think that'd be great.
And
I think it should
play it for
happen.
us now.
Yeah. I know, right? On iTunes.
Yeah.
Okay, so your band, let's go back to that part, sorry. Band members, tell us a little bit about your band members. They're not here to talk for themselves, but we'd like to get the full dynamic of who you guys are as a band.
Yeah, definitely. So my guitarist, Johnny Rios, he actually came to me because Cravings, it's over off of Hernan and Armstrong. That's the restaurant I own. So the dry cleaner next door is called Club Cleaners. Actually, my entire band outside of myself, they all 3 work there.
Oh, really?
So Johnny, he comes next door. He knew about my musical background because Carl, our now bassist, he used to jam in a band with me back in the day, and we've played all over the United States with that band. They were pretty big time. But so anyways, Johnny and Carl, they knew each other. They've long time friends. I didn't really know Johnny yet, but he just knew of my background because he's friends with Carl, and I used to play in a band with Carl. So Johnny comes next door. He's like, hey, have you ever thought about, jamming again? Because he knew I hadn't played in a long time. I go, yeah, but, I kind of put that behind me. Like, I would love to start playing again, but if I do, it has to be Christian related, and I'd like to be a little more on the thrashier side because I used to play just straight up like brutal death metal, like very crazy themed.
Okay. Yeah.
Straight up. I mean, in your face,
like Anthrax or
like way heavier. Like
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I don't know if I.
Well, I don't know. It was pretty heavy.
Some of the names of the group.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Well, you go ahead and name it, and we can edit them out if you.
Like Cannibal Corpse.
Oh wow.
You know.
Okay.
Like I mean, like crazy heavy Morbid Angel. Like
wow.
Obituary. Like I mean, heavy stuff.
Right.
And that was your that was your scene at the time.
Yeah.
And this is pre-Christ?
Yes, of course.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
But he knew of my background from that, so he comes to me. He's like, "Hey, what do you think about China?" I was like, "Yeah, but it's got to be Christian related, and I would like to do a little more thrashy, you know, Anthrax, you know, Testament, that kind of stuff." And I didn't know what he'd say because I know. Like I had mentioned before we started doing the interview, I'm the only Christian in the band.
Uh-huh.
They're cool with the themes, and it's not that they're anti-God. They're not by any means anti-God. Just they're not quote-unquote Christians.
Okay.
But they all believe in God.
Right.
But I didn't think he'd go for it. And he did, and we originally were going to just, you know, like me and Johnny, it was just two-piece. Like I said, we did the entire first album with two guys.
Wow.
And we just thought it was going to be this little fun, you know, like, oh, let's mess around, record an album for ourselves kind of fun deal, right? Well, I got a wild hair. I love music. I've been doing it for years, almost 30 years. I told him, hey, I'm going to start sending this to record labels.
Whoa.
I sent just one song. What song was it? I'm having a brain fart on what song it is. But I sent one song to a few labels, and a few different ones got back to me. We ended up getting signed off of the one song with Rox Records out of L.A. I mean, they have all kinds of like old school Christian bands, man. Okay. Deliverance, Ultimatum, some heavy hitters like in the Christian rock and metal.
Yeah.
And they picked us up like right away.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool. So, you know, just did that, you know, then eventually because we wanted to start gigging, you know, we just had an album come out. So, you know, we wanted to get the full band, you know, getting Trent and eventually Carl after the short stint we had with the original bassist. But, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember going to Fresno Bible House. Remember that place?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I thought it was off Blackstone or something. Anyway, here in the Fresno area, of course. And that's not there anymore. But I remember going there, and at that time, you could test out music. You could listen to some CDs
Scan
and
the
stuff.
barcode, and it would give you a sample.
And so I ran into one thing called Mortification. Remember them?
Yeah.
And they're a Christian, like what they are, like basically a Christian Pantera type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. I was like blown away, you know?
Oh, yeah. Crucified.
Yeah, Crucified.
Crucified's from Fresno. I'm buddies with
I didn't know
guys.
that. Whoa, right on.
That's cool.
Jim, the drummer, he actually drums for Deliverance now. They're still playing. We actually played a show with them. And then Greg, the guitarist, he actually, the guitarist for the Crucified, he did a guitar solo on our debut album. He was a guest performer and did a guitar solo.
That's
so that
awesome.
That just blew my mind.
Yeah.
That was the first. I didn't grow up on Christian metal because I wasn't always a Christian.
Right.
But they were the first Christian metal band I heard. So for him to play on our album, it just like blew my mind.
You got all the feels, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's do this.
How about this? Let's back up and let's find out his story.
Well, I was going to go there. That's
Okay.
what I was going to ask him.
All right.
I was going to say, do you want to do a commercial break first and we come back fresh?
We'll go.
Come on, guys. Get it together. It's not that hard. Here is an idea. Let's play a song by Crushing the Deceiver, titled An Angel's Armor. This is from their first album.
Listen close. There's a war going on for your soul right now. Jesus said in Revelation 3:20, he said, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone listens, I will come in and I will be with them. Right now, today, there's a war for your soul. Jesus stands at the door of your heart and he knocks. And it's up to you. Will you let him in? Will you let him in to change your life?
Yeah.
Dude, you're a rebel.
I'm a rebel tonight.
Oh my gosh.
And tonight I am.
You're giving me the stare down right now. I'm a little intimidated.
And I'm having an energy drink, which I normally don't have.
I know. I can see, as I said, your face is vibrating, friend. You better slow it down a little bit. Okay. Anyway.
It's music.
So you've made references a few times about your old life.
Yes.
So let's learn about you a little bit if we can.
Yeah.
What brought you from, I mean, the music you used to listen to, right? I mean, that's some pretty heavy, that's like devil. I don't want to go as far as the cliche, it's devil worship music, you know, but pretty close.
Yeah, very close.
I wanted you to say it like the church lady.
Devil worship music. Yeah, somewhere, okay. Anyway, just for you, dude, because you're freaking me out right now. But, okay, so you had this history that was deep into that dark sided stuff, you know, and yet there was a point in your life where you realized that none of that was right.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about all of that.
Yeah. So like, it definitely took a nudge. I mean, it wasn't just me on my own. It's, of course, you know, for most guys, it was a girl.
Of course.
Ah, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my
I
now
know
wife,
what you mean.
actually
Okay.
tomorrow is our 16th anniversary. 16 years.
wow.
Right on.
Not,
Awesome.
not married, just when we started
Together,
dating.
yeah. Okay.
But still,
Yeah.
16 years
That's
together.
good. That's
So-
good. Yeah.
But yeah, so I was, you know, dating my then girlfriend. We were at her house and we're watching the movie The Sandlot,
Oh,
right? And one of my all-time favorites. So we're watching The Sandlot, and she just looks over to me. We're sitting on the couch watching The Sandlot, and she's just like, "Hey, would you want to go to church with me?" And like, I don't know why. I just started weeping.
wow.
I go, I would love to go to church with you.
Wow.
And the first few times I went to Clovis Hills with her, it was still Steve Davidson at the time was the lead pastor. I would just cry. I mean, sob, weep at every church service. It was like he was speaking directly to me, like no
Amen
one
to
else was
that.
in the room.
Oh, that's so amazing.
And it was cool because I remember going, and it was around Christmas time, and one of their like kind of claim to fame for Clovis Hills, like what got them like noticed. So you know, every year they do the electric parade in Old Town Clovis. They had a float, huge. You could probably find it on Google still. They had on the side of their float, huge. It says Clovis Hills, the church for people that hate to go to church.
Nice.
And he would.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah. And he would say that.
Yeah.
For me at that time,
Right, yeah. So
I-
now how old are you at this time?
I was 19.
Okay.
Maybe 20. Because
Okay.
I think I started going, we were dating by then, I think almost a year.
Okay.
So 19, 20, around there.
Okay.
And I mean, at that time, hearing someone say that, because I did, I mean, I straight up hated church. I grew up in a Seventh-day Adventist church, and it was
Oh,
very
boy.
judgmental.
Yes,
So,
yes.
like, I did hate
Yes.
church at that point of my life. So when he said that, I was like, sign me up. Like, this is what, you know what I mean? Like, I'm here for the...
It's the church for the rebels.
Yeah.
Right?
And it really is.
Yeah.
Even to this day, it is that church.
So let me give you a little backup, and I'll let you continue. So Clovis Hills, you know, I am at a Southern Baptist church, very traditional, lots of, please, if you're listening, don't get upset with me, lots of blue hairs is what I call them. We have a large, older community.
Yeah.
And I lead worship, and so we do lots of hymns, right? Lots of just the old traditional stuff.
Yeah.
This past weekend, they had a huge convention over there for the youth. Their worship team,
So good.
okay, it was almost too much for me when I first walked in because I'm not accustomed to, you know, when
It's
I
like
think
a
of
rock
worship,
concert.
it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, and I can't remember the names, but the lead singer, she's this Italian lady and girl, and she's very energetic.
Marlena.
Okay, and it was insane because she was telling her story about how, you know, all of these kids are struggling with different things. She's like, you wouldn't think that somebody like me who's up on stage praising God would struggle with the things I'm struggling with. And she talked
yeah.
about depression and suicide. And I'm just like, wow, that's insane, you know, but just the idea that everyone is very unabashed about who they are. You know, and I thought that was great. I thought that was an amazing, and of course the music was just
top notch.
Yeah.
So are you going to start leading music there sometime?
They've actually asked me because
Have they?
of my background. Obviously, I've been playing music for August 7th, because that's my birthday. So August 7th, I'll be playing music for 29 years.
Wow.
I got my first real guitar when I was 7. I got my first guitar when I was newborn. They got me a toy guitar. Like I've loved music as far back as I have a memory.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've wanted to be in a band.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Dang.
And so, okay, so you went to church with this young lady. And then what happened?
So, like I said, I mean, it was like every time I went, especially those first few times, it was like they were just speaking directly to me. And I knew that it was where I wanted to be. You know what I mean? Like I said, like saying that, like, hey, this is the church for people that hate church. Like, obviously that's a little strong, but that's what I needed.
Sure.
Even to this day, I'm not like the quote unquote typical Christian. Like, I mean, I look pretty normal right now, but under this, I got like, metal shirts on. Like, I go to church every week with metal shirts.
Right.
On purpose, because that's my ministry.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm spreading the gospel through metal music.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I want people to know, hey, this is okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love Clovis Hills. Clovis Hills is what's made like my foundation as a Christian. You know what I mean? Like, I never felt safe like in church or like at home in a church until I went there, because it was always like suit and tie or, quote unquote Sunday's best.
Yeah.
And to me, church should not be about that.
Right.
Like, growing up in a Seventh-day Adventist church, like, they were always preaching out of Revelation and like, you know what I mean? And like,
Trying to scare you straight,
Yeah.
pretty much, right?
yeah, it's like a guilt-based
Right,
religion
right.
instead
Yeah.
of faith-based religion.
Right.
And it's like, they do that, but then at the end, it's like, give me your money. Mm-hmm. And I remember even as a kid, and I mean, this is like 8 and under, like, I mean, I was young, and I was like, this isn't right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
You had a gut feeling that this is something wrong here.
Yeah.
Well, and what a way to push people away too is that when it's just the fire and brimstone all the time.
Yeah. And I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to condemn Seventh-day Adventists.
Sure.
I mean, there's a ton of great people, and I don't mean to sound like that. But just for me, it wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not what I needed. Going to Clovis Hills, like, I felt like that's what I needed. And even still, I mean, we've been going there now, like 15 years now. So.
That's great.
Well, okay, so like, was there a message or what happened to you? You went to the church and then you felt at home there, I guess, basically.
Yeah.
And then, but was there like a message that just clicked and you just like, and then you just like prayed to Jesus? I mean, how did this occur?
I can't think of like a specific sermon or service that really did it. It was just the continually going there, getting the message, getting the word, being around the other people that made me feel okay with like going to church.
Sure.
And that it wasn't some condemning place that you go to and you're getting judged or anything like that. It just, I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe Clovis Hills made me want to be a Christian.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Sounds
no,
kind
totally,
of funny.
totally. Well, I mean, again, what does Christ tell us? Christ tells us that He is going to meet us wherever we are, right? And if it wasn't for Clovis Hills and that mentality, He would have never been able to meet you where you were. I mean, as I said before we started recording, God has an amazing way of taking the brokenness that is this world and molding it into His kingdom, into getting His followers to have that ear to listen. And praise God for that. Because I mean, we've all had our stories and had our issues where it's if it wasn't for X, Y, and Z. I mean, my situation was my wife too. I thought I was saved, but when I became saved at 13, but it was like a halfway kind of saving. I did it because we were in a different country, we were doing some mission work. And the guy that was up there was like, the girls are going to love you. They're going to put their arms and hug you. You're going to get all this attention. And I was this, starved for attention teenager. So I was like, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, but I went home, nothing changed about me. So when you found your faith, and you're at church and you're in your 19, 20, somewhere around there, right? What changed for you?
So like it was a slow development for me. So really when I started Cravings, so this is like over 10 years after already going to church.
Okay.
So like I went to church, I felt at home, I felt good. They do this church service, man, it was probably around 2009. So I was already married for 2 years. They were doing a church service, and it was the first time at Clovis Hills they ever allowed you. It was on an Easter Sunday. It was the first time ever they allowed you to get baptized without taking the class. For me, that was perfect because I was so busy with work at the time. I was managing Luna Pizzeria. I managed over there for 8 years before I bought Cravings.
That's some good pizza, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sure you've ate some that I've cooked. So I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
So I was working at Luna's at the time. So I was super busy. Well, at Easter Sunday one year, they allowed you to get baptized without taking the class. I remember when they said that, I was first or second out of my chair, practically run down there to get baptized.
Wow.
I mean, I'm in my Sunday, Easter clothes, nice clothes.
Uh-huh.
I got in there. I mean, obviously, I took, the wallet and phone and stuff out.
Yeah,
but
right.
I got in there with my
Wow.
nice jeans, nice button down.
Didn't
Did
matter.
it.
Yeah. Wow.
And I mean, I just felt great.
That's amazing.
And even after that, though, like you said, like, not that I did it for the wrong thing, but like I felt like even at that point, I was still kind of growing in my faith. And then, like a few years after that, Scott Henman, he's the family pastor at Clovis Hills and the original owner of Cravings. He comes to me at Cravings and asks if I want to set up a meeting and talk with him. I go, yeah, let's do it. I thought it was going to be something music related, like trying to get me into the band at the church, because I know he knew my background of, music.
Yeah.
So I have a meeting with him, and he tells me at this meeting, like I said, Cinco de Mayo, if I want to be his business partner. And I said, yeah. Like, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I was a regular at his restaurant anyway. I loved the food. So it was easy to say yes. Like, I always wanted my own place. The food was good. Let's do it.
Right.
And, him being a pastor, and he's actually the one that told me, too. Earlier I said the first Christian metal band I had heard was The Crucified.
Yeah.
Well, Scott's the one that showed me that.
Oh, okay.
And because he grew up on all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
And because he's from the L.A. area, and the L.A. L.A. metal scene. I mean,
Right.
even Christian, like L.A. has all the bands. So he's showing me all these Christian bands, and then Johnny coming and asked me that. I'm like, man, like it was just like, I don't know, like meant to be, like
Almost like there was somebody on the outside controlling everything,
Right.
Setting
I
Exactly.
mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
It's amazing, I mean, God has the
Opening
ultimate
doors.
power, right?
He really does.
And it's amazing when some people think that it has to be this: you become saved, and if it's not a start, stop, turn around, and about face,
And it
then
is that for some people.
For some, yeah.
And good for you. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
mean-
applaud that. I wish it was that easy
Right.
for me.
That's it. I
know
wish
what
it
I
was
mean?
that easy for me
Like-
too, but
like-
life does not work that way for
Right.
a lot of us.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how sometimes it's not even that hard turn. It's just a slight shuffle.
Yep.
It's like, it's almost like when you've got, all of us wear glasses, right? When your glasses are slightly away from your face, everything's a little distorted. But once just the slightest movement into focus and it all lightens up,
Right.
right? And
I can't see anything without that.
He's the same way, man. I
can't see anything with him.
If you ever put his glasses on, it's like looking underwater. It is the weirdest thing. But anyways, that's the thing is that so God had a plan for you, and it really took the baptism and the focus on just get that done. Because
Yeah.
let's be real, baptism does not save you,
No.
right? And this is the clarification
first
I like to
step.
say.
Let's talk about that for a
Yeah,
minute.
so baptism is not about saving you. You don't have to be baptized to be a Christian, right? Baptism is an outward expression of your inward
Yeah.
change, right? It's
Yeah.
a death.
You're claiming God in front of people.
in front
Right.
of people, which,
yeah.
let's be real, that is a scary thing.
It's very scary.
Especially, like I said, I mean, I come from a Christian-esque background. background. But I have friends. Some of my best friends are not saved, and I pray for them every day, but I don't know that they ever will be because they're very secular in their mindset, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so the visual part of baptism is your old body goes under, and when you come up, you're a new creation.
You're wet.
What's
right?
cool about that too?
Yeah.
I know this is like a little side note, but I have to throw it in there because you just said that.
Yeah.
So the whole thing with the first album, it was a conceptual concept album. And the whole album is about my journey being, from my baptism, like you were just talking about baptism. We have a song called Born Again on the album.
Yes.
And it was about me and my journey up to the point of getting baptized.
Wow.
And like every song on the album, like the start of the album is actually, I got my pastor, Sean, that gave the message of pushing back hell. He did a spoken word intro for the beginning of the album. The song is called An Angel's Armor.
Okay, so that's him because that is
okay.
him.
That's wondering.
I thought that was you at first because that was one of my questions. Is that how does that voice that I'm hearing on this particular song? How does that make the sound that the whole album sounds like?
He was all for it though. So a lot of people that don't go to Clovis Fields don't know this about him. He used to be in a hardcore punk band called Dogwood. They were a Christian band.
I could see that.
Like he loved like metal. Like he was all for it.
Yeah.
Like when I asked him, and so every church service, that's how he ends every single church service. He ends it by saying what he said at the beginning of my album. So I had to have him say it.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to do with that album, so there's so much meaning behind every song title. We put it in order by the name of the songs on purpose to tell a story.
That's great. Cool.
And like how you noticed when you heard him speaking, there's war sounds. It's like an angel's armor. You're putting on that armor. You're getting ready to go into battle.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what then, if you pay attention to the lyrics, that's what the song's saying. If you believe in God, the battle's already won. It's over.
That's right.
He already won.
Praise
Amen.
God.
And I noticed a lot of your words and songs are about spiritual warfare, and man, we deal with that daily, and
we do.
And some of us don't realize that, we don't know it, but we do. Whether you're saved or not, you're battling spiritual warfare.
I love that you actually caught that because a lot of people don't understand it or they kind of dismiss it, and like, I don't know, like how to put it lightly. So like it ticks me off.
Yeah.
Spiritual warfare is like one of the realest things in the world.
Yes.
And
it's
like
one of my favorite topics.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite topics. And that's kind of like what the concept of the album is too. Like spiritual warfare and like my story as a Christian, you know what I mean? Like I said, we have, Born Again about the baptism. We have another song called Forever Free, and it's about breaking free of your chains that tie you down to this world. Because I had struggles with almost everything you could be addicted to when I was younger.
Yeah,
I was addicted to pornography, alcohol, drugs. I mean, you name it. If you could be addicted to it, I was addicted to it. You know what I mean? That was just my personality. I had an addictive personality. If I liked it, I wanted it all the time.
And you're saying, once you found Jesus, those things started to slowly go away.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you found a new addiction.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
a good
be
one.
real. Yeah, you became addicted to Christ.
Yeah.
You allowed Christ to fill the hole that you were trying to fill with everything else.
Oh, yeah, big time.
That's great.
And I mean, especially like I said, I mean, it helps when there's a girl involved, obviously.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like you have something to prove yourself to. Like, prove myself to my wife and her family. Like, hey, I'm good enough for your daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
at the beginning, obviously.
Right.
Like, and just and growing in Christ. Like I said, like even when I got baptized, I felt like I wasn't nearly where I am now. Where like I'm literally preaching in between songs at secular metal shows. We've only done like 2 metal shows where it was 100% Christian bands.
Okay.
We're usually the only Christian band there.
Oh, okay.
And we've played with big time bands. I mean, massive bands. And I mean, they got pentagrams on the stage with them. And these guys respect the heck out of us.
Sure.
They'll shake our hands. They love our music. They'll be moshing.
Really?
And they got like, upside down cross, pentagrams on their shirts, the whole 9 yards.
Does that just mean that it's more of a show than an actual belief system for them? The whole, like that demonic kind of aspect
I think
of it
for
all?
some people, yes. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't want to speak for
Sure,
anyone,
sure.
but I'm sure that's the case in some.
Because I mean, let's be real. For people who are secular, it doesn't matter. I mean, if it brings in the masses and it makes a buck, cool.
Yeah.
Because they don't.
Well,
a lot of
that's
people
like-
don't necessarily
that's like
understand the.
Going like this devil sign here, for a long
That's
time,
I-
I just
that's
thought
I-
it was a rocker.
That's I
you know?
love
Yeah.
you. There you go.
There you
Yeah.
go, sorry.
You just said you
Yeah.
loved me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, buddy. We're friends.
But anyway,
Well,
I didn't
that's what a lot
realize
of
that
people-
until later on. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm doing a devil
Yeah,
sign. I
right.
didn't mean to, but I just thought it was like a rocker, like, hey.
And I still think it is
Yeah.
just a rock sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know. I mean, you guys are more my age. You know
Yeah.
Dio.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
Dio's grandma is the one that invented that.
Really?
And
So
what
what we're
it
doing-
was,
I knew that
what
Dio
we're doing is
was
the,
involved in it, but I didn't know that she
like,
was the one.
so I'll give you a little story. I know
Okay.
this is like sidetracking,
Yeah.
but
That's all right.
so the little sidetrack of the quote unquote devil sign, it's not a devil sign at all. So what this is, Dio's grandma invented it. On the old Dio albums, his mascot or whatever was always doing that sign. It was actually a sign his grandma did before sleep. It was to cast away demons. It was like this, to cast
wow.
away
Yeah.
the demons.
yeah, uh-huh.
You're casting away
Wow.
the demons.
Wow.
And people like the upside down cross thing.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a Christian band called Convictions. I love these guys. We had the chance of playing with these guys here in Fresno a few months back in August, I think it was. And these guys are amazing guys. Christian band. I mean, on the back of their shirts, it says, unashamed, unworthy. I mean, they're just
That's
like
great.
full blown,
Yeah.
like in your
Awesome.
face.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome guys. Backs of their shirts, massive, just a solid upside down cross. But it gets people talking.
yeah, it does.
Like, hey, what the heck is this about?
Yeah.
You go,
Why do
"No."
you have that on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, no, you forget. Peter flipped it upside down to not be sacrificed like Christ was out of respect. And people forget that, they
Sure.
kind of tie it in with like quote unquote satanic. And like if people research things instead of jumping the gun on everything, I know a lot of people turn it into a satanic symbol. But it's funny to me when they try to do that, because me knowing the research and the background on it, there's no such thing as a satanic cross. The upside down cross was out of respect to not be, you're not worthy of dying the way Christ died, so he flipped it upside down to not die like Christ.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That is amazing. Wow. And talk about a faster way to die, too, though, because all the blood's upside down, everything else. That's painful.
Yep.
That's painful. Wow. Not saying that Christ's death wasn't painful.
Yeah.
Let me
Oh, yeah,
clarify.
of course.
but wow, man. That's just great. Okay.
Oh yeah, so you mentioned in your shows that you
Thanks.
preached a little bit, right? But so one of your questions, and I think you just answered it, is do you do just Christian shows or do you do secular shows as well? And I think you just said you
Yeah.
mainly do secular shows.
And, okay,
Yeah.
and I wanted to expand. Thank you, because I had
Yeah.
lost my track on that. So you are mainly involved with the secular crowd, right? What happens when you start dropping Jesus Christ? Like when you have the mosh pit down there, because I'm sure people mosh at your concerts.
Oh, yeah.
So you're like mad moshing, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, Jesus Christ! Do you get the what? Like the head
So-
turn, or
I've had only once.
okay?
I've had people legit turn around and walk away. But I've never had, at least audibly, out loud people say anything. And what I usually do, I kind of judge the crowd, obviously, like biblically, you got to be like them.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
You have to be like them to bring them to God.
right.
So depending on the crowd, I kind of line up sometimes as far as like the quote unquote preachiness,
You're right. Okay.
But I mean, I don't hold back. Like if you go to our concert, you're gonna know what we're about. You know what I mean?
That's
And I've actually got way more compliments than disses. Like I said, other than the one time there was a couple that they legit just turned around and walked out.
Wow.
Which is fine. I didn't stop and say nothing about it. I kept
Sure.
saying my thing. But I've had tons of people after shows like hit me up on PM on Facebook like, hey, I just wanted to let you know I thought that was really brave of you to do that.
That's
You
cool.
know, like that was really cool. Because like depending on what song we get to play live, we're usually playing about 7-8 songs, and when we do a couple different songs, like we have a song called In God's Hands. So not to get political, I don't like politics, either side of the spectrum. I think people, it's almost like a false prophet kind
Sure.
of thing. With the people take it to the extreme with these politicians.
One way or the other, right?
Yeah, either way,
Yeah.
either way. Because I honestly don't like either side. So, and I'm not saying we should be anti-government. That's definitely not
No,
the right answer.
I will say, you know what you're trying to say? Libertarianism. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
You do your own research. Don't fall into a category.
Yes.
Sorry.
Do
All right.
your research.
That's
Like I was saying with the upside down cross thing.
Right.
Most people don't know that.
Right.
You know what I
didn't
mean?
know that.
So do your research. You know what I mean? Educate yourself. Don't let other people make your answers for you.
Sorry, it just sounded like you had leather pants on.
But
Well, we had a special guest. I thought it was necessary.
so when we do the song In God's Hands, what it's about is not putting your trust in politicians. That the only way you're going to see real change is to put your trust in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And that's
right.
that's 100% what the song In God's Hands. Put it in God's hands.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know, like that song, or when we do Forever Free, you know, like I said, it's about breaking free of your chains from the world of your addictions, your habits, your hang-ups, whatever you're going through. And that's what that song's about. We have shirts of Forever Free. The artwork is a guy. It looks pretty graphic unless you know the meaning behind it, but he's like tearing off like this. It almost looks like he's tearing off his face. He's taking off his old skin to become new in Christ.
Nice.
While he's shackled, and the shackles are breaking off. It looks really cool.
That's awesome.
But and then on the back in real big font, it says "Forever Free."
That's awesome. Yeah, I was looking at the lyrics here because I had to pull them up really quick, and I just love the fact that you say, "I am who I am. I am not a pawn of man."
Oh, nice.
And I think that sums it up really well, because when you think about the political mindset, it is about, especially now, man. I mean, it is, you're either for me or you're against me.
Yeah.
I mean, there is like I don't know that it's possible to have a civil conversation with somebody who doesn't think exactly like you
Yeah.
anymore without them wanting to punch you in the
Well,
face.
This is my take on it. It's easier to conquer people and have them under your thumb when you have them divided.
That's it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's all it is.
That's
It's
it.
just
And it's funny because it's so divisive now, because I feel like you're right on the brink of something great and people don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big Trump guy. I think that he's doing everything that he said he was going to do. You know, love him or hate him. You might have hated the ideas of what he wanted to do, but he's pushing forward on it, you know, and people don't know how to deal with that. And I
Yeah.
think that's why everyone is so freaked out. That's enough of the politics. I won't get to
He's
But,
like, wait a minute.
like I said, I don't like either
yeah.
side.
No, it's all right.
So it's
Yeah.
all good.
yeah, right.
You can say whatever you want about any of
That's
it.
right. And I just might. Okay. Anyway. All right. So let's do this. I want to hear the rest of your story, because I still want to know what happened. Like, so the transition of when you decided, because you said that you took a hiatus from music, and we
Yes.
want to know what came from that and why that happened. Well, let's take a break really quick.
Yes.
And then when we come back, we'll get more into that. Sound good?
Yes.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
We were with Grant from Crushing the Deceiver, and we'll be right back after these words.
Dude, are you sure we should be doing this? You and I have witnessed many things, but nothing as bodacious as what just happened.
Missed your cue, mate.
Yeah, sorry, Ken.
You do know the song, yeah?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
All right, well, we'll pick it up just coming out of the intro. We're wasting our time here.
Sorry. Would it be okay if I was could I start it one more time?
All right, yeah, go again.
Remember to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Let's Get Jacked Up. Check out our website at letsgetjackedup.com. Listen and download our episodes from our website, the Spreaker app, and of course at fringeradionetwork.com.
Oh yeah, let's get jacked up. We'll be right back after these messages.
Well, mate, do you want the gig then?
Jack and Tim are at it again. Starting Saturday, February 1st at 7 a.m. Pacific Time, Jack and Tim are on a local radio station right here in Fresno, California on KBIF 900 AM radio. It's called Hits, Home Improvement Talk Show. If you have any questions about home improvement, then talk to the experts in home construction, as Jack and Tim will have contractors and experts on home improvement every Saturday starting February 1st, 2020 at 7 a.m. on KBIF Radio, 900 AM, right here on your local dial. From Modesto to Bakersfield, listen to the experts. Home Improvement Talk Show, or listen anywhere in the nation on TuneIn app. That's Saturday, February 1st, 7 a.m. Pacific Time on KBIF 900 AM radio.
Well, hello, Earthlings. This is an alien and Captain Leap Walker here again. Say, if you like Let's Get Jacked Up, then you will like some of the other shows on Fringe Radio Network, such as Canary Cry Radio and Canary Cry News Talk with Basil and Gons, A View from the Bunker with Derek Gilbert, The Naked Bible, The Truth Seeker, Spirit Wars with Michael Basham, Kingdom Talks, Getting Understanding, and Eyes Wide Open with Leonard Olivares, The Iron Show with Johnny McMahon, and new shows like Bigfoot, Terror in the Woods, a movie show called Biscuit Reviews with host Flaky Layers, and a brand new show called Brothers of the Serpent. Oh my, what is that about? Check out all of these, plus much, much more, right here on FringeRadioNetwork.com. That's FringeRadioNetwork.com.
A missionary hospital in China had only 1 month of funds and resources. The new director made it a point to gather the staff together and pray. They trusted that God would provide as he had promised. Days passed and no help. They got down to their last bag of rice. Hi, this is Chips Ross, and I serve Jesus as pastor of Westwood Baptist Church in Fresno, California. Our God makes big promises. I mean big. And we must trust him. I realize that I've been tempted to scale down God's promises to my level, but that's wrong. He is a great God, and he can fulfill every promise, even the big ones. Look at these big promises in Scripture. In Philippians 4:19, my God will supply all your needs according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus. Psalm 84:11, no good thing does he withhold from those who walk uprightly. Psalm 34:10, but they who seek the Lord shall not be in want of any good thing. Isaiah 41:10, God himself promises, I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. 2 Corinthians 9:8, God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that always, having all sufficiency in everything, you may have an abundance for every good deed. Trust God to fulfill his big and small promises to you. The last meal of rice was served. The mail came in. The director received a note from a friend in England. Included was money for food. Even more, the friend had received an inheritance with more money than he needed. He asked perhaps the director could use some of this money. This is a true story for Hudson Taylor in China in 1859. God makes big promises. Is anything too difficult for him? Trust him.
You're listening to Let's Get Jacked Up on the Fringe Radio Network.
5, 4, 3.
Hey, are you through yet? Because I'm getting tired of holding this.
I did not realize that. Russell, did you realize that?
No, I did not realize that.
Game on!
Yeah, game on!
Welcome back to the show. This is Let's Get Jacked Up on Fringe Radio Network. The only network to rock.
What do you think of that?
Now it's here with Tim and Bobby.
And welcome back to Let's Get Jacked Up!
Okay.
Yeah, we are rocking and rolling with a heavy metal style.
Heavy metal.
Heavy metal with Crushing the Deceiver. Yes. And,
I just.
What?
I don't know what you do half the time. I'm so confused by you. That's okay. I love you anyways, man.
Thank you. We're here with the vocalist Grant Moeller. You know, Grant, I noticed you don't call yourself a singer. Is that on purpose, or you just do vocalist?
Yeah, I prefer vocalist. I can't sing. I can scream.
Okay.
You can't sing, like you can't do it like a
you don't do
a soft song and
well, you know, like some of those guys, the Slipknot lead singer, you know, where he's got some pretty good pipes, but he likes to blare it out too.
Yeah, I can't sing like that.
You can't sing like that. Okay, all right, fair enough. Well, there goes the intro idea I had. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. Totally kidding. All right, so before we left for the break. We were all over the place, right? Which is fine because that's the name of the show. But
let's get jacked up all over the place. That's not really the.
You don't have to be obscene, okay?
What kind of a show is this?
I'm going to talk to your mother for Christ. Is really Yes. All right. Anyways, go ahead.
What I'm saying is that the name of our game is we have a topic, but then we bounce all over the place. That's what I meant to say.
Correct.
Okay. Why do you have to be so critical of me? All right.
Because I have energy.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable there.
Again.
Just teasing. Anyway. Again. Okay. Here we go. Turn this off. We're going to have a conversation. Okay. All right. So you took a hiatus. Yes. So you were doing music, you stopped music, and then you got involved with the restaurateur, if you will, and then music came back into your life. So what happened? Where was that gap? What caused that gap? What was going on there?
Yeah, so like I was saying during the break, so my wife, 2 months, maybe a little bit more, but I want to say around 2-3 months before we get married, she's just straight up gives me the ultimatum, you know, if you want to marry me, you can't be doing this band no more. At the time, I was in a pretty popular death metal band. We had just did a huge festival. I mean, just top of our game.
So you were feeling high off of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, magazines. I mean, everything.
Gosh.
And wow. So she just gives me the ultimatum.
What's that like?
She goes, if you want to marry me, you can't do the band no more.
So now, was she showing you signs of discomfort before this, or was it just, did it feel like out of the blue for you?
No, for me, it was way out of the blue.
Really?
Because she knew, like, I've told her, at that time, like, I told her, like, this is what I want to do. I never had a backup plan. I was going to just play music for a living.
Okay. And to say, as you said before, during the break, you had the band before you had her.
Yes.
Okay.
So, like, it was tough for me at first. I didn't want to do it. But, I mean, we had already paid for all the stuff for the wedding. What am I going to do? Back out on it? You know what I mean? And, like, obviously I love her too. But, like, at the time, I was pretty teed off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it caused pretty big argument, you know? And
I bet.
Well, how did the band take it?
I mean,
you're the... I hate to say it like this, but you're kind of the heart of the band as far as if you're the vocalist for that band.
Well, I was the guitar vocalist for that band, but me and my older brother, we created that band together.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I had to let them know, you know, and that wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And so, I quit the band. I very begrudgingly, I didn't want to quit the band back then. I didn't understand why she wanted me to quit doing this because I loved it so much. You know, later on, you know, becoming a Christian, my walk starts growing with Christ, and then I realized, hey, I did the right thing. Like, you know what I mean, with some of the themes and the lyrical content, things like that of my previous band. And then just, you know, like I said, with my guitarist Johnny coming up to me and asking me, like, I never thought I'd play music again because my roots, all I knew was like super heavy death metal stuff. Like that's all I knew. So I thought music was out of the picture. You know what I mean? Like, I had the ultimatum, hey, give up the band if you want to be with me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I never thought music was even an option for me anymore. And then he came to me and, you know, hey, you want to do this band? And when I told him, you know, hey, it's got to be a Christian band, like right then and there, when he first off, I didn't even think he'd say yes because like I said, I didn't know he was, like, he's not a Christian, and just to where it's got to now, it's like God had a different plan.
Sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
he always does. At least usually.
Hey, so I went to this conference with the youth at my church, right? And the one thing that stuck out the most, and I think it was the pastor of Clovis Hills who said this. He said, "Jesus Christ has an amazing way of messing up every plan you thought you had for the better."
Yep.
And it's so true because you think you know.
Yep.
If that makes any sense at all.
Oh, definitely.
And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, so apparently, I should have made a U-turn back there, but I didn't. Here I am. And wow, look at what God has done for me.
Yep.
It's an amazing thing.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off side rails. But again, story of, that's my job.
Right.
My job is to make everyone, what just happened? Okay. Sorry.
No,
continue. So, okay, so the wife has given you this ultimatum.
Right.
Okay, so you get married. Okay, and you're living the married life.
Yeah.
And you literally just hung your hat up and said you're done.
Yeah.
And so did you not? I mean, obviously you're a musician, so you still probably played for yourself and other things, but
I didn't even touch a guitar.
Wow. Really?
I can't even play guitar now, which kind of sucks because I missed out on like 10 years playing.
Yeah.
Now my arms are pretty jacked up from the years of being in the restaurant business.
Sure.
And I can't play no more.
Like
I have carpal tunnel,
yeah.
so it stops me from playing. Because this is the first band ever that I've done only vocals. I've always played either guitar or bass.
Right.
Wow.
And I used to drum too, way back.
Okay.
But I had always played guitar and bass for all my bands. So like this is like the first project I've ever done where like I'm just vocals.
Wow.
So it's been fun though. I like it.
Yeah. Now, but is it kind of a humbling thing though? Because not being just a vocalist, it's not the same as having that musical kind of fallback, or I don't know how to explain it. But it's not Motley Crue. There was one of the band members where one of those hair bands back in the 90s or 80s, and I remember them talking about the lead singer Roth. What's his name?
Oh, David Lee Roth.
David
Van
Lee Roth.
Halen.
Yeah, Van Halen. There you go. I don't know why I couldn't think of them.
I'm like, where are you going with this?
I'm trying. Okay, but that's the thing is that all he really did was the vocals, right? And it was like he was disposable because they he parted ways with the band. And they
Sammy Hagar.
They brought in the Hagar. But so did that come into play at all for you? Like the idea of not having the same. You're capable of doing it, but you're not as involved in that way musically.
Yeah. I mean, it was a bummer for me, because I loved playing guitar. Like that was my favorite thing in the world to do. But like I've never felt like the other band members have thought of me as like being disposable or something like that. Like I'm the face of the band.
Well, you're also the writer.
Yeah, like they would tell you. Like I'm the I book all of our shows. I'm our manager too.
Oh, yeah. Geez,
like so, like I'd make all the merch for us. Like don't get me wrong. Everyone is very equally like
involved,
contributing to the band, but like the shows, stuff like that. Like I am the guy booking us shows, stuff like that. So, like everyone's definitely bringing stuff to the table.
Yeah, no, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I was just curious because
for sure.
I can't. I don't play any instrument. I played the trombone in elementary school. And they quickly asked me to stop. So that's as far as it goes. My ear, I could sing, but it's all based off of ear. I can't read music to save my life.
Even when I played guitar, and like I said, I mean, August will be 29 years, so the better part of 29 years. And I've never learned how. I've never even learned how to write, to read tablature. I don't know how to read music.
Wow.
And I mean, I've done 7-8 studio recordings on record labels.
Sure.
Yeah, and I don't even know how to read it.
That's insane. But that tells me that's just talent.
Well,
sometimes you just have it.
You probably do it by ear too.
Yeah. Well, that's like the other guys in the band too. For Crushing the Deceiver, like when we go into the studio to record, they all have what's it called? Click tracks.
Yeah. Oh, I can't.
So the timing, and I have to have them turn it off when I do my vocals.
Wow.
And like they're always like, "Are you sure? Like it'll help you keep."
I had to learn how to deal with that, and I finally kind of did. But man, it's tough.
Yeah,
when you're not used to it.
I don't do it at all.
Yeah.
Like I won't do it. I tell them you have to turn it off. It's distracting me. And what's funny too, for the first album, because like I said, it was that big hiatus, so it took me forever to do the vocals in the studio. For this new album, we've recorded 3 tracks out of 10 so far. All 3, I recorded my tracks in one take.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
So it's
great
pretty.
is that?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that just points to the fact that the talent is there. I mean, let's be real. As I said, I can't sing I could sing okay, but I get one time. Check this out. One time I thought I was a DJ, right? I downloaded this DJ app on my phone. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I seen these guys do it where they like every single track is their own voice and they just little clicks here, little pops here, and pretty soon they have an entire thing. Man, I nearly threw my laptop out the window. I literally could not get the timing on the very first little thing that I wanted to do because I could not figure it out. My brain just does not work like that.
Oh, timing is everything when you're in there actually recording, because I mean, it's not like live. When you record it, it's always going to be like that.
And the thing is, what's crazy too is that people compare, regardless on how well you do or not on the live show, they have the recorded in their mind. So when they're singing along with you or whatever, if you're not on point to what you recorded, even if the recording was an off day, you're screwed.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
I
just feel like it's you got to make sure it's on point. Sorry. My phone is.
Well, especially like the bigger and bigger you get to, and more people start learning your music and knowing the lyrics and things like that. Because like we have a music video. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the video.
I saw that one on YouTube
for "As We Rise."
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a pretty popular song of ours. That's going to be on this next album we're working on.
In fact, we had it on. We had it undercover there on the commercial coming back.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, yeah.
The one that you heard, right?
Yeah. Well, because on that video, like because it's had a lot of plays, and things like that. Because I mean, it's a music video. Like people know the words.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, it's like a whole different dynamic. Like you got to know these words. People are singing along. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, do you have the benefit because of the style of music you do, where if you forget a lyric, you just kind of flush something out, or
I don't know. If you listen to that music long enough, you will understand the words.
For my old band, no way in heck you know what we were saying. I mean, it was just like there's no way.
Okay.
This. Like, I feel like with Crushing the Deceiver, if you're familiar with metal, you can understand every word.
Yeah. See, because I was picking, it's been a long time since I've listened to this style of music.
Yeah.
And I could pick out, a good chunk, but there's a lot of it where I had to go refer to your lyrics to kind of, flush out what it was that I was hearing. So, yeah, I was just curious on that. Now, the next step, too, is I'm trying to follow the progression of your story here. And it's my fault that you keep derailing, so I'm going to try to put you back on track, okay?
Sorry, I'm all over the place.
No. It's okay. It's like I said, it's my fault. Yeah, I do it all the time. So we're going to fast forward now. So you have that hiatus of music. There's nothing going on, not even playing guitar. You're too busy flipping pizzas and all that stuff over at Luna's, which I love Luna's, by the way, and I'll tell you a story about them later on. But so you get approached by this person who was originally the owner. You become a co-owner, right?
Yes.
And then eventually you take over.
Yes.
And then just out of the blue, some guys come in and be like, hey, you play music.
So I was still partners with him when the band started.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So now what I'm getting at, though, is how did the wife take it?
Well, she knows I love music, obviously. Mm-hmm. I told her, kind of like what we were doing, and like none of us thought it was going to be to the level it's at now. We all thought, hey, this is just this little fun thing.
Right.
Just two guys. It wasn't even a band at the time.
Right, until someone got a wild hair to throw a bunch of...
and then, once we got signed by Rox Records, like she likes it, though. She's actually, she runs our merch table. She's been to every show except one.
Okay.
And the one she missed, every year she goes with a group of her friends. They all go to the beach, like a beach trip, girls trip.
Right.
And one of our shows last year ended up landing on that day. But other than that, she's been at every show, runs our merch table.
That's cool. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice because it's like it's that God affirming thing where it's like what once was not allowed is now accepted.
Exactly. And it makes it way more enjoyable for me.
Sure.
Because it's like you don't have to like hide your happiness about it, or you know what I mean? Like you can share that together. Like there's nothing held back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and it talk about a strengthening bond. I mean, we're all married at this table. I've been married to my wife since 2003, and we've known each other since a little more before that. And she's going to be mad if she's listening to this because I drew a blank on how long we've been married, and she's like, I am going to punch you in the face. But anyway, so we've been married for a long time, right? And why are you laughing at that? But the idea is that when you find that thing that works and you both can enjoy it, and it's something that is, again, as you said, not a hidden thing, oh my gosh, man, it's an amazing feeling because it's almost like you're cultivating this new identity with each other, this new kind of like subcategory of your marriage that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
I love playing video games. That's my guilty pleasure. And I picture it as being like when you unlock a new achievement and like all of a sudden you get all of this new stuff that you get to explore and develop and everything else. And I feel like marriage is very much like that. And I think it's great that your passion became her passion, even though she forced you out of it the first time around.
Yeah. And that's like now is because, like I said, like being familiar with heavy metal, if you are familiar with heavy metal, you'll know all the words to the songs. Like they are very understandable for you. So like it's cool now seeing her, like she knows like the words to the songs, you know what I mean? Like sometimes she'll get, burnt out at shows if we're not at our band, but just like being there. Sometimes they go on for a long time.
Sure.
But like she's happy for me.
Yes.
She supports me, and
That's
like
great.
that means everything. You know what I mean?
It really
That's
does.
great.
The support really helps.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on a hiatus, and then what happens? Like the storybooks.
What do you mean?
Tonight on Fox.
Okay, so but the hiatus. Okay, so the music is produced, right? You guys get everything all put together, and you realize that this is something, and you like the sound, and you want to take it further. Did you let them know beforehand, or did you do it and say, "Boys, by the way, I pushed the music out"?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's what you did?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
okay. So you had a feeling. I mean, this is somebody who's got nearly 3 decades of music
that's-
experience.
Exactly. That's the thing too. I have tons of connections.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So you were able to, I mean, it was an easier pursuit for you because of who you knew.
And that's like, we've only been doing shows for a little over a year.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to do shows until we actually had the physical first album in our hands.
Gotcha.
So we've only been doing shows for a little over a year. On Facebook, we have over 4,000 followers.
Wow.
I don't know how many is on Instagram because our guitar tech runs our Instagrams.
I can never figure that out.
Yeah,
man.
I'm not on Instagram. I don't even know how to use it.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the following on Spotify last year, and I even tell people, do not stream music. Like I was telling you earlier, I'm against digital music. Like I don't like streaming. I don't like none of that because me as an artist, I see literally nothing on that.
Right.
So like, our music was streamed on 28 different countries last year.
Wow.
With me telling our fans not to stream it.
Right.
And that's just Spotify. That's not the other streaming services.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I mean, it's pretty cool. You know
That
what
is
I mean?
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So then this burst of fame, tell us about it. I mean, you realize you've got something. You use your connections. You get your music out there, and this little kindling poofs into a fire. And what has happened since then?
So it's pretty cool. Like I said, like having the connections from the past has definitely made it a lot easier. And that's where it comes from, like what we were talking about before we started this. It's like God has a funny way of turning even negatives into positives.
Yeah.
So I might have been, singing about these like kind of dumb things I shouldn't have been singing about before, but I still was able to use those connections from back then incorporate them into now what I'm doing for a good thing.
Yeah.
Because now everything we do, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Like the kind of celebrity kind of stardom that comes with it's awesome.
Sure.
It's great.
Sure.
Who doesn't like getting their ego stroked? I mean, it's cool.
Let's be real.
Right.
I mean, that's why I got married.
Yeah.
Like-
hello.
I'm sorry. No.
But you know what I mean? Like,
no, I totally
you'd
get
be
you.
lying
Yeah.
if you're saying that's not cool. That is very cool.
Sure.
But I'm doing it for God.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. It's about what are you doing it for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where, like I said, like I am the only Christian in Crushing the Deceiver. That's my reason for doing it. You know what I mean? I can't speak for them. They do love the message part of it, which is awesome since they're not Christian.
Yeah.
But that's why I do it. You know what I mean? I do what I'm doing with the band. Excuse me. Like as a ministry.
Right.
That's great.
You know what I mean? Definitely as a band too. I love the music side of it, of course.
Right.
But I mean, it's cool to get to incorporate it all into one thing.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. So after any of your shows, I don't care which one, after any of your shows that you've done, has anybody come up to you and asked you about your lyrics?
As in, like, to know more about God. Like maybe, like, have you ever, I don't want to say altar call because that's a little bit too kind of churchy, but have you ever had people come up and want to, and actually.
I've never had people ask about the words.
Okay.
I have had tons of times have people come to me and, like I said, like, man, that's cool that you did that or said that, about certain things in between songs. I've had people come up to me, like, countless times asking for me to pray over them about certain things.
That's great.
That's good.
Which is
That's
really
great.
cool. So, I mean, it's definitely, it's definitely like, you go, like I was saying earlier, you go to our show, you know what we're about.
Yeah. Sure.
So, like, the words being brought in dark places, literally being the light. So it's cool.
Yeah. I mean,
that's awesome.
And when you talk about being in a dark place, I mean, there is some.
So you're really in it. You're in the boots on the ground there.
Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Right.
I mean, you are
playing these clubs, or we play, Full Circle Brewing Company a lot. That's obviously a brewing company.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not knocking beer. I drink beer when we play, but a lot of people are drinking to the point of drunkenness and belligerent. You know what I mean?
Right.
And to be playing in those places like that and get to bring the word to those people that would never ever hear the word otherwise. Because it's like okay, you hear our band. If you aren't sitting and really focusing on what we're saying, you'd never know in a billion years we were a Christian band.
Sure.
And the cool thing is about that, you go to these shows when you are the only Christian band on the bill, you're playing and someone checks you on, they're digging you, they're bobbing their head, and then they catch a lyric, they're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Right.
Then they're like, hey, these guys sound cool. And they're talking about this,
Right.
Let's check out this whole God thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, one of my best friends, as I said, the ones who I love to death, but will probably never. I mean, I don't want to say probably never, but it's just tough because I have been praying so hard for them for so long. He has told me that Christian rock is an oxymoron.
Yeah. I've heard that many years, you know. And
I get that a lot.
I bet.
And it is hard. I honestly, when we first started, I'd always tie those in, and I've held back from it recently because I do think that way. I hate that it's called. I shouldn't say hate. I do not like that it's called Christian metal because Christian metal. I mean, it is Christian metal.
Sure.
But when you put that label on it, you're automatically thinning the crowd.
Yeah, you're pulling yourself out of a market.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because plus, too, you don't hear Catholic metal. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't hear, let's check out this Buddhist metal. you know what I mean?
No,
How come there's a Christian metal, though?
That is another show that we will talk about because there are some conspiracy ideas. For those of you who are listening for the first time, we are on a network called the Fringe Radio Network. The Fringe Radio Network. You can do it? Never mind. Who cares? You got it ready for yourself. Dude, come on. Give me a break. Anyways, but that's what we're about. We're about Christianity on the Fringe, right? So we
Yeah.
talk about like, so why is it that Christ is used as a curse word? You don't ever hear anybody say Buddha, when they're cursing, but they'll say Jesus Christ when they're cursing. Why is that, right? And so we talk about that. We talk about there is a reason for it, and it's the deceiver being very cunning and being very deceptive, and it's scary. But once you realize it, it's almost emboldening you to be even more aggressive with your faith.
Yeah.
But going back to your music again, one thing that I've always stood on is that we are Christians, and we're called to go out and to seek the lost. What better way to do that than with your testimony?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, our testimony is designed not to be for ourselves to keep inside in this little box and only take it out at Christmas time and say, "Do you remember that? Okay, put it away." We're supposed to use it every single day. We're supposed to be living it, right? So you and your music, and especially with the fact that your history was deep-rooted in those lyrics and that lifestyle that was very contrary to the Christian faith, how have you used that as a testimony for those who are in your position when you were back there? Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
And I've said from the get-go, right out of the gate with what I want to accomplish with this band and my ministry using this band is to bridge that gap. I always said, I want to be, and it sounds silly to say, I don't care, I want to be the biggest Christian metal band of all time.
That's great.
Not for myself.
Sure.
I want to bridge the gap. I don't want that line there.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, I've been there. We were known, quote unquote, for being the heaviest band in the world with my old band.
Wow.
Like, we were known for that.
Wow.
Like,
Okay.
my nickname was the Godfather of Gore because it was death metal, so Gore.
Sure, yeah.
And, I mean, old magazines, you flip the page, it was Iron Maiden. The next page was my band.
Wow.
Interviews, like full-page interviews.
Yeah.
And what I want to accomplish with Crushing the Deceiver is to bridge that gap. Like, there shouldn't be like, oh, they're a Christian band. Oh, no, enjoy the music.
It's the music.
Yes.
Right.
Get the music, and it's a plus because you get that message.
Yeah.
Like I was telling my wife when I first started finding all these Christian bands, I go, holy cow, if I would have known that bands sound this cool, because I like the sound. I didn't care what they were saying.
Sure.
Right. If I knew there was bands that sounded like this, but were, you know what I mean? But not
but had the
singing about-
positive message.
I would have never gotten into so much crap I got into when I was younger.
Well, but that just proves that music is influential. I mean, you get people in today's time will say, they're just words, effing these bees and all this stuff. That's just, it's just part of the lyrics. It flows. That's all it is. There's no real meaning behind it.
What goes in comes out.
But that's it.
Yeah.
You put into your mind ends up infiltrating your mind, and it's and your statement about you didn't even care about the lyrics, right? You didn't care, but those lyrics still had influence.
Oh yeah, big time.
And that's the best part of it all. And I think that for you to bridge that gap and to eliminate it, it would be, I think it would be that critical piece that culture of people are missing.
Like I want to be known for doing that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like.
And then give the power. Then give all that glory to God. And be like,
exactly.
I did this because my God is greater than that.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. That's the way it should be. You know, that's very cool. All right, so do we want to continue? What else you got? You got any more questions for him?
Oh, okay. So I actually, if you're done there, we're gonna, because I know he's on a time limit because he got to wake up earlier tomorrow.
Okay.
I would like to dive into like maybe 3 news that you have. Do you have anything with news?
I thought I might be able to do that.
All right. Well, while you get that ready, so to wrap up what you were saying, you went back into the music. I mean, and you got back into writing music. How did that happen for you?
So
did you stop writing music totally, or did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't writing lyrics. I wasn't writing guitar riffs. Nothing.
Wow.
I stopped. Because like I said, like that's all I knew.
Right.
So it's like, because I thought that was over, I just thought I would never play music
So you
again.
cold turkeyed it.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that came with consequences too. I was ticked off. You know what I mean? I was a very, like, I was very angry about that decision because at the time, like I said, I didn't understand why. God showed me that later why.
Sure.
But at the time, it wasn't pretty. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, so then how did you actually get back into writing and then into doing Crushing the Deceiver?
I mean, it comes back again to Johnny asking me to do the band, and just I don't know what it was. Just
but your wife was okay with this at this time.
Yeah, well, because we didn't know it was going to turn into what it turned into.
I see.
And so we started jamming. Just me and Johnny writing these songs. We got asked to be on this compilation, which was really cool. It was called Across America. And the cross with, all caps like a cross.
Yeah.
And we recorded a single for that. We were on this compilation. We were the artist out of California that was represented because it's called Across America. They wanted a band from each state. And they were going to do they were doing a series.
You were representing Cali.
Yeah, there was a couple California bands, but still, to be representing your state. And we were on that. And I mean, I don't know. I felt that we could do something. And that's when, like I was saying before, giving it to the record labels. And I've always loved music. When I found out, like, hey, the wife's cool with this because of what it is,
right?
Then I was like, okay, like, I have this thing that I love so much that I can do again.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
That's
what I
great.
mean?
Yeah.
So it sounds like every band you've been in has been successful in some regard.
Oh, yeah.
So with all your connections, where's the next step here? I mean, you're doing shows. You're very busy. We had a hard time getting you in here, which is great. But I mean, it's great for you. Yeah. But then you're doing a lot of shows. And where are these shows? Where can we go see you?
So our next show is here in Fresno, February 16th. It's a Sunday. Which is cool because a lot of my employees like going to my shows, and a lot of times they can't because they have to run the show when I'm not there.
Yeah.
So they'll probably all be at this one.
Because you're closed on Sundays?
Yeah, we're closed Sundays.
Oh, nice.
Of course, we're a Christian place.
Yeah, right. Right. I like that.
So it's February 16th. Again, we're the only secular band.
Non-secular band?
Our non-secular band.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We're the only Christian band on an all-secular bill, which I'm super pumped for.
Yeah.
Like, even the flyer is pretty graphic artwork.
Oh yeah, that's what I want to ask you about. Your artwork is really cool. I've seen some of your, and on this album, the Crushing the Deceiver album, that's really cool. Who does your artwork, and how do you go about doing that?
Our artist is Timon. I don't know how to say his last name. He's one of my best friends. Well, he's German.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
He lives in Germany. Like, I've never met him in person. I've talked to him tons of times online. He does all of our T-shirt designs. He did our logo for us.
Wow!
I already have artwork for the first 3 Crushing the Deceiver albums, so people haven't seen the next 2.
Nice.
I was going to say, where's the other one?
Yeah. But I have the original canvases at my house hanging up for the first 3.
That's
They're
killer.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But he does all of our artwork, and so what the art for the first album was my concept. So it goes back to what I was saying, how every single thing in that first album has so much meaning behind it. So if you're looking at it, the one side, everything's dead. The other side, everything is very fruitful and colorful and full of life. And that goes back to because the first song was called Pushing Back Hell. You can even see in the sky, there's like those evil-looking faces in the sky on the one side.
Yeah.
And then the other side is like, because it's being pushed back. You're pushing back hell.
It's really cool, yeah.
And like I said, if you look at it visually on the ground, you can see it all cracking and stuff, and the flames coming up. But then if you're looking, it'd be to the right. It's all very beautiful and everything's alive. And so the cool thing behind that, I told him I want to kind of resemble that famous biblical painting, drawing, whatever you want to call it, of Archangel Gabriel killing Satan. And that's what it is on the cover. It's literally that. It's Archangel Gabriel killing Satan. And the cool thing about this, my friend Peter that lives in Boston that did the layout for our album, like, putting the lyrics and all that stuff and the pictures inside the CD booklet, very good friend of mine. Well, I got to know him during the process of making this album. I didn't know him very well back then. So we're working on putting this album together. He didn't even see the art at the time. And he's like, hey, check out this song. And he shows me this really cool outro, like just acoustic thing, right? Well, this outro he showed me, it's on the album. It's called Gabriel's Song.
Is that the end thing?
Yeah. So it's called Gabriel's Song, which is awesome because it's Archangel Gabriel killing Satan.
Yeah.
Well, he had a son. He was born stillborn. So he was born dead. His son name was Gabriel.
Whoa.
So it has multiple layers to that.
That's wow. That's
and
crazy.
I'm so happy that he allowed us to use that song. He played that song at his son's funeral.
Whoa.
And he let us have that song to put on the album. What's really cool too, the outro, after you hear the music and you hear that it's like
the heartbeat.
It's his son's heartbeat.
Oh, man.
So everyone got to hear his son. You know what I mean?
That's his actual heartbeat.
Yes, that's the actual heartbeat of his son.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's
heavy, man.
I played that last week on our show at the very end. I didn't know that story, but I was like, wow.
Yeah, I've wrote it down once. I need to write it down and actually make it into not a book because it's not long enough, but just to give the story and the rundown of the meaning. Don't get me wrong, I'm super pumped. I think the second album is way better musically. The songs are just way more dynamic because four people contributed.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah.
To top the meaning and everything that was put in the first album, I don't think we'll be able to do it. Because there was so much in every little aspect of every song, lyric, everything. I mean, it was pretty intense.
Yeah. Well, but I think that goes for a lot of freshman albums, though. It's because you have the time, there's that real purpose behind it all.
Yeah.
And then, the sophomore and thereon, it's becomes more of defining who you are. You've already established the groundwork.
Yeah.
Now it's more of defining who you are as a band and being able to explore a little bit more on that musical end.
Yeah.
But that's pretty exciting.
Awesome.
We're excited to hear what you got.
I can't wait.
Sure. Yeah.
So you do have hard albums. Or hard CDs. You also have vinyls, you said?
The vinyls, so our debut album, we sold out of our copies. The record label still has just a few. So our first album is actually almost out of print. I'm going to be talking...
I guess it's time for a second one.
I'm going to be talking to them about repressing the first one because we have so many shows in the works and stuff. But the vinyl... We partnered up with Rox Records, our record label, and this company called Limited Run Vinyl.
Okay.
So they only did 100 of them.
Because it's limited.
Yeah. So they're really neat though. Like the vinyl, it's not that basic black. It's like a gold. It looks really neat.
Yeah.
And they only made 100. Just on pre-orders, they're almost sold out. So on
the pre-orders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we're getting. I think we're getting 20 of them. And we have less than 10 left. So ours will probably be sold out before we get them in hand.
Wow.
We should have them by the 10th or 11th of this month.
So next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Wow, that's intense. That's actually, I mean, what a blessing that is, man. To think that you've got things in the works as a just in case, and it's like literally blowing up. It's more than you thought it would be.
Yeah,
that's great.
God is really opening doors here for you.
Yeah,
really.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and our prayer is that it just continues to blast off.
Amen.
And that God. All we need is the mustard seed, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's it. And think about how many people at these secular concerts you go to that are getting that seed. And I don't want to seem like deceptive in it, but they may not even realize it until after
but
fact.
But the seed's being planted.
That's it.
Regardless.
That's it. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and what a blessing that is. That's amazing.
Because you never know. You could go to a concert and like 5 years from now or something, you'd be like, hey, and you listen to your song and like, hey, I remember going to that concert, and then it starts dawning on you your lyrics. And then maybe that guy or girl is like, I need God right now.
Yeah.
And you never know. You just never know.
Yeah.
God knows.
Yeah.
And that's all that counts.
And that's all that matters.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we thank you so much for coming in. We're going to transition really quick to some...
We're going to play one of their songs. What's your favorite song? I'll play it.
My favorite
on the
song-
first album, of course, because I don't have a second.
Whatever.
As We Rise is available.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to play that one, and then when we come back, we'll do some Bobby's Crazy News.
All right. Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay, we're back. And it's time for...
And now it's time for Bobby's Crazy News.
Prepare to be less than impressed with Bobby's Average Joe News.
Okay, close. All right, hey, you know what? I have to break the rule, okay?
What?
I have to comment, though. My wife guest hosted a show with us, and she thought it would be fun to
a couple of times.
And she decided she loves just razzing me, so he turned this session of her like criticizing me into the intro for my little news segment. And I'm like, so now I have to listen to her nag me even when I'm away from her.
Yeah,
There's no getting away from it. I love it.
I enjoy it, but
I love you, honey.
Not you.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
What's in the news, Bobby?
All right, so I just want to. We only have a couple because we're short on time.
Right.
I only have a couple, but I wanted to start off with a real banger. Okay, imagine buying a book for your kids. Okay, you buy this book, and the front cover looks. I mean, it's got a demon on it, but it looks very childish. Okay, it's kind of like a cartoony demon. It even says that it's a children's book of demons, but it's like childish. It's sweet. It's kind of innocent. And for those who don't know God, this might seem like a fun little thing to have, right? Until you start reading it a little bit more, and it actually teaches kids how to summon demons.
Whoa.
Holy cow.
This is a little different than concerts.
So just a little bit. So it teaches them inclinations, how to incantate, whatever that word, how to properly say certain phrases to draw them in. It actually has a sigil chart that shows specific signs. Teaches the kids how to draw. Let me turn my
Your little labby top.
Whoa, yeah, that looks like some spooky stuff.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, and this is it. It shows all of these different incantations, if I'm saying it right, on how to summon a demon.
How do you explain that on the air?
You can't. Just
it's like symbols, right?
It is. It's like symbols. They're all circular symbols with certain lines in them, but they all have different little like lyrics, if you will, that go with them. It says here that there's this priest, and he said he questioned how the book presents a variety of symbols that encourage children to draw in order to summon various different demons.
Crazy.
Yeah, he says that it's simplifying a specific type of worship, and it says here that it's trying to take Satanists or Satan worship and drop it into the normal religious culture. And so, that's really how it was actually. That's how it was marketed. It was marketed as just kind of like a book of Wicca or whatever, kind of in that. But I'm sorry, that's terrifying, and it's geared towards kids.
Wow,
geared towards kids. So, if you guys ever see this book,
don't buy it.
Don't buy it. If somebody gives it to you, throw it at them. Yeah. Throw it right back at them. In their moving car. Wow. Yeah. But so that was the one thing. Let me see if I can. I don't even know if it actually has the author. I'm going to try to see if I can find.
Call them out.
Yeah. No, I know, right? We're going to wake up one morning and find like some weird artwork on the front of our door, and that'd be scary.
That's why we're in a secret location.
That's right. Somewhere deep in Fresno, California. All right. So then let's go. Let's see. I only got a couple of more. Okay. Hey, how about this? Have you ever wanted to rob a bank?
I mean, when I was really broke when I was young.
Right. I mean, we've all let's be honest. We've all thought about it, right? You watch a movie. You watch what are some of those movies that you
like Ocean's 11?
Okay, so yeah, perfect. Ocean's 11 is a great
13,
example, right?
Whatever. Yeah.
So you watch one of those movies and you think, they were onto something, but it was flawed. I bet you I could make it better.
Right.
So this guy possibly thought about that. He was a robber, and he went into Cleveland, Ohio.
Hey, that's where I'm from.
I know. Hey,
the home of rock and roll.
Okay, I was waiting for that to happen. But dude, I'm telling you, he might be one of your relatives. I'm just saying.
No, he's got glasses too?
No. And he's African American, so that might throw it out too. But the mindset is the same.
Okay.
I know. I'm trying to razz you a little bit.
Go ahead.
So this guy, his name is Mitchell Harrell. He's 54.
Not my relative.
No, he's not at all. He walks into a bank.
Yes.
waits in line patiently, slides the teller a piece of paper, and it said, "Give me all your money, sucker." Right?
Oh, yeah. Because that's how he sounds.
I'm assuming if you were to look at his picture, you would say that might be how he sounds, right? So she obliges. He walks out. She takes a closer look at the piece of paper that he wrote the demand on, and apparently it was a slip from the DMV that had his name, his address, his phone number on it.
I knew that was going.
Needless to say, he didn't get very far.
Oh,
yeah.
Here, take all you want. We'll get you later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Pay now or pay later, as my dad
I saw a
always says.
story the other day.
Yes.
A guy went into a bank. I don't even know where it was at. I saw it on Facebook. A guy went to a bank, robbed it. He actually got the money, and he just threw it up in the air, and he was telling everyone, "Oh, Merry Christmas." I was like, what the heck? This guy think he's Robin Hood or something?
Funny. You know what? That sounds like one of those guys who probably wanted to go to jail.
Yeah.
You know, I actually, another Facebook, so I don't know how much of it is
who knows
true.
how
Who
real
knows,
it
right?
is.
Yeah. But I saw one where this old man robbed a bank. He was in his 70s. He robbed a bank. And as soon as he touched the money, he put his hands up and he waited for the police to come because, according to the article, he was that tired of his wife.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, but
yeah,
again, I don't know how much of it is true or what,
Yeah.
but it's just like, it's the idea, like, people do some really dumb, stupid things for the sake of whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Let's do one more.
Okay.
One of your
all right,
best.
all right, hold on. Oh, I don't know if I have any of my best in here. Let's see here. I got to scroll through. Okay, here, how about this one? Let's just say, hypothetically, that you have a brother, and he's not the most upstanding of citizens, okay? He was arrested, okay? And he was arrested for stealing an SUV. And you decide you're going to go, you have the bail money, you're going to go bail him out.
All right.
Okay? How would you go about doing it? You'd probably get in your car, you'd drive to the bail bonds, you'd set it up, right? Well, this man from Kansas
there you go.
decided to do the same thing. However, he decided to do it in somebody else's SUV.
Oh, no.
He got pulled over for stealing an SUV while going to bail his brother out for
great.
stealing an SUV.
That is great. I love that one.
So they're in jail together.
That's a good
Are you
one.
sure that didn't happen in Florida?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can I
they
tell you?
They always have the wildest police stories,
they do.
man.
For a while there, I was doing it to razz Jack because Jack is a Floridian, and or at least he spent a lot of time there. So I would purposely find things from Florida, and he'd be like, "Here we go again," like hands up in the air. But yeah. Florida has got some real
I got to share a real
wackadoos.
quick one. Real
go for
quick.
it. Sure.
Go for it.
So, and this one really did happen. This was on the actual news, not just Facebook.
Okay.
So this guy, he gets pulled over for speeding on the highway somewhere in Florida. And this guy in the car with him, he had a macaw, a zebra, and like some other exotic animal.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're in like some, like a Toyota hatchback or whatever, right?
Yeah, like I don't know what kind of car.
Yeah.
But like I remember hearing that story. I'm like, how do you even get those animals? Like, what the heck?
It gotta
and
be
then
a
like
truck.
and the
Who
funny
knows?
thing though, it's kind of like Scooby Doo. He probably would have got away with it if he wasn't speeding.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Those crazy kids.
Yeah, would have got away with it too.
That's
what I thought of
hilarious.
though. Afterwards, I'm like, well, I mean, obviously he shouldn't have had a zebra and all these animals, but he probably would have got away. But he was speeding with all of them.
Right.
Man.
Well, and it's funny too because that's one thing. I had a brother-in-law who was in trouble with the law a lot, and he said most of the time it was from dumb traffic things
traffic violation type stuff.
that got him
Run a stop
most of the time.
sign.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
just dumb things.
Yep.
And it's just like you would think that if you are in trouble with the law,
Have a
that you
warrant
would
out or
be
whatever.
like dot
I've
every
heard so
I,
many
cross
stories.
every T's,
Yeah,
and
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
really, dude? But that's why the
That's
cops
why
do
they're
it.
at that point, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Cops will pull you over and they'll do whatever they can to get inside your car because I feel like the vast majority of I mean, let's just say it's 30%. That's still a pretty good number.
Right.
30% of the traffic stops end up being getting somebody bad off the street.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks for those of us who abide the law, who are like, no, you don't have to pull me over. I was not that bad. But yeah, I got stories.
You got
to tell.
stories.
I do.
Yeah.
I get off the hook though. I get off the hook. I was in the car one time and I was going way too fast in a 25. Cop pulls me over. My best friend's in the car with me. Thanks. He's in the car. Thanks. He's in the car next to me. The cop was like, basically, hey, you were speeding. You were going too fast. And I explained to him, I was like, hey, and this is the God honest truth. God honest truth. I really just wasn't paying attention to how fast I was going. I explained that to the officer. I said, you know what? I was talking with my friend. I really wasn't paying attention. I apologize. And he said, I appreciate your honesty. He said, next time, tone it down just a little bit. Handed me my driver's license, and off I went. No ticket. My buddy was just like, how is this possible?
Because you were honest with him.
Yeah, that's it. It's amazing what happens.
I think more times than not, if you're honest with the police, they'll let you off.
Well, and be friendly, right? I mean, I'm sure that they deal with a lot of people who deal with a lot of things.
They really want to do the paperwork for something like that, you know?
Maybe some of them. I don't know. Yeah. I also, one time I got a speeding ticket. I had just bought the Infiniti RX. No, the Infiniti G35, okay? It was, they had just redesigned the body style on it. It was a lot of fun. My wife and I broke it in by driving it to Vegas. I was going well over 100 miles an hour.
Holy moly.
The cop pulled me over, saw that I had no plates on it, and he's like, so, is this new? And I'm like, yes, it is. So he wrote the ticket for exceeding 65. So instead of me getting my car impounded and my license taken away for going just blatantly over the speed limit, I just got essentially a slap on the wrist.
And that he couldn't give you a warning because you were going 100.
I was going like 120, I think, something like that.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, enough for when my wife. So my wife saw the cop, and it was like one of those guys who's like on the other side of the street. She saw the cop. She looked at me and she goes, "Oh my Lord!" Like that, just like total panic. And I'm like, "What? Oh my Lord!" We both freaked out. And I'm like, nobody saw us. Nobody saw us. We're good. I slowed down, and they were right behind me. But anyways. Yeah, I'm not from Florida, so I'm not going to use that story.
No, not on your own crazy news.
No. Anyways, all right. So on that, we got to say thank you, everyone, for listening. It's
Grant, thank you so much for coming in, and you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime you have time.
Anytime, that's right. Anytime you have time. Yeah, it's been a blast.
So February 16th, you have a show.
February 16th in Fresno. I'm also excited. March 13th, Fresno, and then March 14th. Vegas.
Wow.
So
you're busy.
Forward to that.
You're going to be real busy. Wow.
And then do you have a website? I know you have a Facebook.
Facebook, our website is been under construction for a long time. Like you said, busy.
Right.
But yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. So catch them on Facebook, like them on Facebook.
2020, man.
That's great. Yeah. Well, 2020 is when everything you start to see clearly, right? Right? It's all coming together.
Definitely like our page on Facebook, man. It helps us out big time.
Cool.
For all kinds of stuff. The numbers help. So please go like our page on Facebook.
Look for his second album coming out anytime or when, I don't know.
Well, we're still writing the second album, but we will for sure have the second album out and in your hands sometime 2020.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Looking forward to that.
Good.
Then.
That's real exciting.
Crushing the Deceiver, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
This is Let's Get Jacked Up. Join us on every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. live on the Fringe Radio Network and on Spreaker app.
There you go. Spreaker. You got it out.
Well, because I almost said Spotify because his music's on there. You could look at Crushing the Deceiver on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, and all those
But he
things.
prefers that you
buy it.
Buy it.
Buy it.
It helps us sell out like we already did.
That's it.
Reprint number 2 soon.
That's awesome. And the thing too, you got to remember, it's like buying local, right? If you like them, you got to support them because free is fun, but it comes at a cost. Nothing is truly free. So just remember that.
What is your favorite song on your first album?
My favorite song on our first album.
That's what we'll go out with.
Is probably Forever Free.
Forever Free. All right. We're going to play that on the way out. Ladies and gentlemen, see you next Thursday. Remember, be in this world, but not of this world. Good night, everybody. Happy New Year.
Remember to like and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Let's Get Jacked Up. Check out our website at letsgetjackedup.com. Listen and download our episodes from our website, the Spreaker app, and of course at fringeradionetwork.com.
Jack and Tim are at it again. Starting Saturday, February 1st at 7 a.m. Pacific Time, Jack and Tim are on a local radio station right here in Fresno, California on KBIF 900 AM radio. It's called Hits, Home Improvement Talk Show. If you have any questions about home improvement, then talk to the experts in home construction, as Jack and Tim will have contractors and experts on home improvement every Saturday starting February 1st, 2020 at 7 a.m. on KBIF Radio, 900 AM, right here on your local dial. From Modesto to Bakersfield, listen to the experts. Home Improvement Talk Show, or listen anywhere in the nation on TuneIn app. That's Saturday, February 1st, 7 a.m. Pacific Time on KBIF 900 AM radio.
I am Optimus Prime. Autobots, transform and roll out. This is the Fringe Radio Network at FringeRadioNetwork.com.